Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Julie Hogan, filling in for Terry Stiles. In this week's news, how would you like to buy a church? An Oxford mother and her baby need your help, and Lone Ranger is going to have some company this year. Find out who.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. The historic Lakeville United Methodist Church building is up for sale. The church was closed last year by order of the Detroit Diocese due to the reduction of membership and financial stability. Asking price for the 6,000 square foot building, $250,000, which includes about 1/3 acre of residential zone property. Some former Lakeville church residents are looking into the possible purchase and making it a new Lakeville community church. Anyone wishing to help parishioners revive the church are asked to call Joan Trevetskis at 248-505-2859.
An Oxford mother needs her community's help. Little Lucy Holt was born in September with a serious genetic heart disorder. The little girl is scheduled for a trip to Boston, Massachusetts in April for open heart surgery. In the meantime, her mother, Laura Beamer Holt, is unable to produce breast milk required to make the baby strong for the operation. To learn more about how you can donate your breast milk and help little baby Lucy, contact Laura at her email address, laurabeth18@hotmail.com.
At this year's Saturday, August 5th Lone Ranger Parade, U.S. Cavalry Commander George Armstrong Custer will be riding with the Lone Ranger in Tonto. Richard E. Williams from Marysville, Ohio, will portray Custer, and Williams has portrayed General Custer since 2003 at various reenactments, including the Battle of the Little Bighorn, where in June of 1812 the original Custer faced an assembly of thousands of multi-tribal angry Indians on the South Dakota plains. Greatly outnumbered, Custer's small regiment of 276 cavalrymen were totally wiped out. Custer's horse was the only thing found alive after the battle. More can be learned about General Armstrong Custer by checking out his hometown museum located in Monroe, Michigan.
A number of awards were given by the American Legion Post 108 recognizing public safety. Sergeant Kelly Kilgore was honored as the most outstanding firefighter of the year. He said, "It's been a pleasure working alongside other Oxford safety personnel and was humbled to receive this award." Also, Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Amy Wakerly was honored as the most outstanding police officer of the year. Deputy Wakerly, without hesitation, braved flames inside a car after the vehicle exploded from a crash. The officer rescued a 7-year-old, handed him off to a bystander, and then she returned to the flaming vehicle to rescue a 5-year-old girl. To see other award winners, check out the April 15th issue of the Oxford Leader.
And still another story of police valor. Sheriff's Deputy Chad Atchison, 37 of Oxford Township, and his 5 colleagues received the award for coming to the rescue and saving the life of a fellow deputy after he went into cardiac arrest while on duty June 27, 2016. Due to their CPR efforts, they were able to keep the patient alive. The man was transported to the nearest hospital by the Oxford Fire Department, where he has made a complete recovery, thanks to the quick actions given by Atchison and the other officers.
If you're a restaurant owner seeking a Class C liquor license in Oxford Township, you can no longer take that license outside of Oxford Township limits. If your business should fail or you decide to move it outside of Oxford Township, your liquor license will now be null and void. The Oxford Township Board of Trustees based the new regulation on an example where a business owner 2 years ago was granted a license. The business used it for 2 years, then closed the establishment and sold it to another company outside of Oxford Township. Treasurer Joe Ferrari told trustees the license is meant to be provided for the benefit of Oxford businesses. The measure passed 7-0.
An Oxford Township couple got into a heated argument over the husband's excessive alcohol dependency. When the husband attempted to smash his wife's laptop computer with a hammer, she fled the house in their red pickup truck. The husband called 911 and police shortly thereafter. They spotted the woman driving the described vehicle and pulled her over to the side of the road. She explained to the officers her husband is an alcoholic who became violent while four of their children were in the home. Tired of arguments, the wife said she was going to work. When the officers came to the residence and the man answered the door, they smelled the strong scent of liquor inside the home. Police questioned the children, who substantiated the wife's story. Officers gave the man a breathalyzer test, which he failed. Police turned the case over to Child Protection Services for future investigation.
A contractor commissioned to demolish and salvage old manufactured homes in the Lake Villas Estate subdivision told police someone has been stealing metal from his projects. The contractor was tipped off when he discovered a steel I-beam at a local salvage yard, not brought in by him or his crew, and the cut was the exact match for a beam he just salvaged. With surveillance video and records, the salvage yard was able to confirm the identity of the people who brought in the metal. The case remains under investigation.
A woman living on Metamora Road reported that a package left by a UPS driver was taken from her front porch. The woman contacted the UPS service to trace the package that was dropped off. UPS confirmed the package was delivered. Police were told the delivery contained medical supplies. The homeowner contacted neighbors to see if they might have seen anything suspicious, but they saw nothing. The police report was entered into the record and for future consideration.
A Dunlop Road resident reported that 3 credit cards bearing his name were issued to someone living in Florida. The cards included Walmart, Sunglass Hut, and American Eagle. The man told officers he's never applied for those credit cards. He was told to contact the credit companies, cancel the cards, and he was then provided an identity theft package with the report. That's Oxford News for this week. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, catch us right here on OCTV, Charter 191, and AT&T Channel 99.
Coming up next on OCTV, filling in for Jamie Hughes is Cody Wright with your Oxford Sports. Then catch Oxford School News with John Ochins. And you don't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Julie Hogan, and this is Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, oh, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, oh, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday we usually have about 400 to 500 best friends for our fish. Carry-out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carry-outs at the post. We have some young fins with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secrets, famous walleye at the Legion, come on in every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, the results are in. The list of places where NASA's Mars 2020 rover could land have been narrowed down to 3. During a 3-day workshop in California, 8 different landing sites were presented and put to a vote. These options were already whittled down from the 30 potentials identified in 2015. The main goal of NASA's Mars 2020 mission is to search for signs of life while also laying the groundwork for future missions to return samples to Earth. Bringing back souvenirs from Mars will be difficult and expensive, so NASA needs to make sure it chooses the best location to collect them from. Top of the list is Jezero Crater, which used to be home to a lake the size of Lake Winnipeg in Canada. Second is Northeast Syrtis, which was once warmed by volcanic activity that created hot springs. The third spot is Columbia Hills, previously explored by NASA's Spirit rover. Spirit discovered that hot springs used to flow in the Columbia Hills as well, making it another area where life may have existed and signs may remain. Wow. And under the ocean, here's looking at you, squid. Cockeyed squid have one huge bulging eye and another normal-sized eye, but the reason has remained a mystery. Now we have an answer. Kate Thomas of Duke University in North Carolina studied 161 videos of the creatures collected over 26 years by remotely operated submarines in Monterey Bay, California. The squid live at depths of 200 to 1,000 meters where there is little light. The videos show that the squid normally swims tilted so that the large eye is consistently towards the sky. The findings provide the first behavioral evidence that the two eyes are adapted to look in two different directions. It seems the large one points upward to spot prey silhouetted against the sunlight, and the smaller one points down to spot bioluminescent organisms against the darkness below. Based on measurements of the eyes and the light levels they would be exposed to, Thomas's team calculated that having a big eye pointing upward greatly improves visual perception, while a downward pointing eye would gain little from being large. That gives you the context for how this trait might have evolved, says Thomas. Wow. On the medical front, success at last. 2 new drug therapies may be able to cure all forms of tuberculosis. We will have something to offer every single patient, says Mel Spiegelman, president of the TB Alliance, the organization coordinating trials of the 2 treatments. We are on the brink of turning TB around. It presently takes 6 months of drug treatment to cure ordinary TB and 2 years to cure people whose infections are resistant to drugs. People may need to take up to 20 tablets a day plus injections. Together, the new treatments called BP-AMZ and BP-AL could make treating TB much simpler and more effective. BP-AMZ involves taking 4 drugs once a day. Trials carried out in 240 people across Africa suggest that it cures almost all cases of ordinary TB in 4 months, and most people with drug-resistant TB in about 6. In the majority of cases, the TB bacterium had disappeared from sputum within 2 months. Meanwhile, BP-AL, a therapy that involves taking 3 drugs once a day, has so far cured 40 of 69 patients with extremely drug-resistant TB, the most difficult form to treat. What's more, it achieved it in 6 months. Researchers presented results from both sets of trials at the Conference on Retroviruses and Opportunistic Infections in Seattle this week. It is a much-needed breakthrough. According to the latest figures from the World Health Organization, there were 10.4 million new cases of TB in 2015, but only 20% of those with resistant TB were treated and only half were cured. The new results are exciting and encouraging, says David Moore of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, but he warns that we must be cautious about saying we can treat everyone until the results have been confirmed in larger trials. And in China, China's space agency has revealed plans to soft land a probe on the far side of the moon in 2018 and to launch the first Mars probe by 2020. It also wants to send a craft to Jupiter by 2030. Their missions will reveal new details of the solar system's origin and turn China into a space power, the agency said. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. A few things to update you on around the district this week. Christopher Card is our high school choir director. They've won a lot of honors. Many members even went to a special Disney World presentation last year. I asked Christopher to update us on this year's activities.
Time of the year, we're working on a big project for February 24th. This is a Friday night at 7:30 p.m. All of our choirs are combining together, 180 voices from our 5 choirs, and we've hired a guest conductor, Dr. Jerry Blackstone from University of Michigan. So we're putting together this big program, huge choir, bunch of good songs. We've hired professional musicians. It's going to be an exciting night.
Oh my goodness sakes. Hey, are you guys taking any trips anywhere this year?
We are going to a national competition in Chicago in April. So it's going to be like a 4-day trip, having a good time in the Windy City and doing this competition. Oxford Choir is a bit competitive, so we always like taking our art out there, seeing how we do, but also just kind of having a little competitive spirit.
Joe Amabile heads up the I'm Third group over at the high school. Joe tells us some of their latest projects.
Amy Wright just took a group to the Baldwin Center last night. Tomorrow we're heading over to the Grace Centers of Hope down in Pontiac. We're taking about 8 students there. We're working on a few future events with the Flint Food Bank and Oxford Gives Back. That's always in the works, and we're starting. We're going to unroll that out in about a month or 2.
Joe has about 50 kids helping out with I'm Third this year. Believe it or not, it's summer enrollment time over at Early Childhood. We checked in with Pat Mueller over there.
This enrollment is coming up. We're all about enrollment. This is for next fall and for summer. Our existing families can come on the 27th. Actually, they don't even come here. It's all online now. You go to oxfordschools.org. You go to Select a School in the upper left-hand corner.
Okay.
You choose OELC.
Right.
And then you choose enrollment.
Okay, that's all there is to it.
It's a snap.
Cool. Pat tells us about another program they're working on.
We're really working on, we have a language and literacy initiative that we're working on. So teachers are working very hard at looking at what the developmental pieces to learning language is, from all the way from our infants, all the way through our extended day kids.
Cybersecurity is always a concern these days. Jody Speck from the State Attorney General's office paid our kids a visit recently. She tells us their message.
To show the kids how important it is to be safe on the internet, and making sure that they ask permission to use the internet, making sure that they go to safe places, and don't talk to strangers on the internet, people they don't know.
Oxford High students recently celebrated the Chinese New Year over at the school cafeteria. Special Chinese cuisine was prepared by some special people over there. We caught up with Chun Chun Tang, one of our international student coordinators, who explains what's going on.
I'm here with our guest teachers from Chongqing and also my mom who's visiting for the holiday. We're trying to make dumplings for all of our students, American and international, in honor of the Chinese New Year. This embarks a new chapter for the lunar calendar of Chinese New Year. It will be the year of rooster.
And this isn't like General Tso's chicken, this is really Chinese.
This is, these dumplings that you can see are made by these 3 ladies. They're as authentic as they can get.
We got reactions from some of the kids.
Okay, so are you guys eating Chinese today?
Yes.
You're not on Chinese New Year? Is that what this is?
I think so.
Let's hear the rooster.
Thank you, hon.
Let's see what you got here. Wow. That looks pretty authentic to me.
I love it.
I like the chicken. I love chicken, so I think it tastes pretty good. Yeah, I like Asian food. It tastes not bad.
Chun Chun's mom was back there making some of that.
She was? Wow. Impressive.
I learned the Chinese name of the dumpling is jiaosa, and this is the year of the rooster. Even the coach gave them a try.
Jiaosa, brother, jiaosa. Oh, triple awesome, thank you. Hey, cinnamon rolls, I love those too. Yes, the rooster. Yeah, I love roosters.
And happy year of the rooster to you, jiaosa. That's the Oxford School Update for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan to take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
How's it going out there, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright here with another week of Oxford Sports Updates. March is just around the corner, the weather is letting up, and these seasons are just winding down. So let's take a look. Boys basketball went on the road Tuesday and tipped off against Rochester High School. The freshmen started the night off strong. It's great to see these up-and-comers develop as the season breaks and the results start to turn. The boys beat Rochester with a final score of 47-35. The follow-up game with our JV club didn't go as well, with a bit of a struggle in fall. Final score 45-31. And last but not least, Jordan Jaden and his varsity crew finished the night off on a high point with a final score of 50-47. These seniors have given us a heck of a season of basketball, and it's going to be hard to let them go. But let's not forget, we still have some basketball ahead of us. Our basketball gals have really stopped on a dime and headed down another path these last few weeks. It's been a whole new group of girls on the court, and let me tell you, we are loving it. Last Friday, our freshmen and JV girls took on Royal Oak. The freshman girls really showed up to play and finished their night off with a final of 19-13. The JV team fed off Wildcat momentum and ended the night on a high note with a score of 31-24. And boy, the momentum must have been strong, because our varsity girls picked things back off Monday night against Harrison High School at home and took the W 53-49. The following night, all three girls teams all tipped off at home against Troy High, and the energy was strong. Our freshman girls split the score with a winning final of 27-16. JV girls liked what they witnessed and followed things up with the exact same score, and last, our varsity gals closed the night strong and finished Troy's girls off with a final score of 35-23. Extremely impressed with the coaches and girls and what they are doing with Wildcat basketball, and we're excited to see some more. Well, to keep the good news rolling, our varsity competitive cheer team took first place at Lake Orion at a meet on the 4th. To follow things up, we headed to Brandon High School Jamboree meet on the 11th and took first place in front of Davison, Utica, Waterford Kettering, Clarkston, and Bloomfield Hills. So keep up the good work, girls. Well, things are shaping up to be exciting for our winter sports teams, and we're enjoying bringing you the good news. Stay tuned and keep updated by going to oxfordathletics.org. You can check out final scores, statistics, and upcoming games and events, once again, all at oxfordathletics.org. If you enjoy this program, check out loads more at OCCTV.org. You can also tune in on Saturdays and Sundays between 1 and 6 on your local channel to see sports coverage, or go to our YouTube page, which you can access through the website. Again, that's OCCTV.org. Well, that should wrap things up for this week's sports. Not a whole lot to touch on, but the results, like I've said, have been positive. I want to thank you all for watching, and don't forget to tune in next time. I'm Cody Wright. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Canadian company Multimatic will build a carbon fiber monocell for the Aston Martin AMRB 001 hypercar and was set to make its debut during the media day at Toronto Auto Show on February 16th. Hypercar is a term used to define the top 1% of supercars or high-performance sports cars. Multimatic of Markham, Ontario has previously worked on the Aston Martin 177 and Vulcan. The company has also played a major role in developing the Ford GT, which started rolling off Multimatic's assembly line in December of 2016. Aston Martin said lightweight construction is paramount in the car. David King, Aston Martin's chief of special operations, said in the same statement, "Making the car represents huge challenges. It's a real test for everyone involved, but that's as it should be, for we're genuinely raising the bar with this car. A maximum of 150 street-legal AMRB001s will be built, including all remaining prototypes, with 25 additional track-only versions. First deliveries are due to start in 2019. The automaker called it a car poised to redefine the limits of road car performance. Cosworth, with its Formula One and high-performance production engine experience, will build the car's 6.5-liter V12 engine. Aston Martin is working with Red Bull Racing to develop the car. Ricardo will supply the 7-speed paddle-shift transmission built to Red Bull's advanced technology specifications. Croatia-based Rimac will supply the lightweight hybrid battery system, and the company has showcased its capabilities with the innovative Concept One, the world's first and fastest all-electric hypercar. Meanwhile, Robert Bosch GmbH has been entrusted with developing the engine control unit, traction control, and electronic stability program systems for the car. UK light manufacturer Wipac is responsible for the hypercar's full LED headlamps and tail lamps. The Canadian International Auto Show is open to the public February 17th to 26th at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. And over in Germany, Daimler AG will stop selling gasoline-powered smart cars in the U.S. and Canada later this year, converting the microcar brand to an electric vehicle-only endeavor. The move reflects falling sales for the two-seat Smart Fortwo, as low gasoline prices have fueled demand for SUVs and crossovers. Officials from Mercedes-Benz USA, which oversees smart sales, told U.S. dealers about the decision in a call with a later follow-up letter. The gasoline-powered Smart Fortwo coupe and convertible will be discontinued after the 2017 model year. The current plan is to stop production for North America in April, with sales continuing until all units are sold, Mercedes-Benz spokesman Rob Moran said. A redesigned version of the gasoline-powered coupe went on sale in late 2015, with the redesigned convertible following in 2016. Smart sales have fallen steadily since reaching 10,453 vehicles in 2014. The brand sold 6,211 vehicles in the U.S. in 2016. Though the 2017 model coupe went on sale in early December, Smart still has 2016 models in dealer inventory. It's running a special promotion, leasing 2016 coupes for $89 a month. Moran didn't provide annual volume expected for the electric drive models, however. At their high point, electric vehicles accounted for 30% of the brand's annual sales. Smart has 85 dealers in the U.S., and it's unclear whether that number will go down with the transition to electric only, Moran said. And at Ford Motor Company is investing $200 million in a new vehicle testing complex near Detroit in Allen Park, Michigan, that will include a wind tunnel and climatic chamber. Construction on the operation will begin later this year and should be completed by 2019, a Ford spokesman said. It will sit on 13 acres next to the automaker's drivability test facility, which has similar testing capabilities. The complex will include a wind tunnel to conduct vehicle aerodynamic and other tests with speeds up to 200 miles per hour. It will also include a road rolling simulation with individual belts for each wheel, as well as a fifth belt that will run under the center of the car. The belts can operate at 200 miles an hour. The tunnel chambers will be enlarged to accommodate large frame vehicles such as the Super Duty pickup. The site will also include a climatic chamber that can produce temperatures as low as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, as high as 140 degrees. It's unclear how many workers the new center will employ. Ford said it will continue to evaluate staffing plans and know more closer to the opening. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.